ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, or you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, or you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up.
What up? How you doing, Savannah and the rest of the United States? It's your boy, Julius Campbell here. My co-host, Marie, she's not here with me right now, but I know she's riding with me. My homeboy, AB, he's here as well in mind and in spirit. And as always, Julius Hall. Not Julius Campbell, Julius Hall. He's on the side with me as well. Who are we and why are we here? All things relevant media, ink to ink, incarceration to incorporation. What do? We provide a platform for our returning citizens, for our men and women to share their stories. Why? Because we believe that stories matter. That's right, your story matters. Why? Because your story, my story, our story help changes that false narrative that when we get out, we automatically go back to prison. That's not true. Many of us are successful in our own rights, whether it's educationally, occupationally, relationally, organizationally. We are successful and we want the world to know it. As always, you see behind me, OAA Savannah, Offender Alumni Association in partnership with Ink to Ink. What do? We provide a safe space for men and women to share, to empower, to educate, and also to encourage. All of us at some point need encouraging. So I'm excited to be here with you again. We got a good show for you tonight. My partner, Oscar Brown, is on. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself. He's going to introduce himself and tell us what is his relationship to incarceration. And we're just going to have a dialogue. We're going to let Oscar tell his story. So before I get ready to get to Oscar, what's up, Anna? I see you. As always, I appreciate you being down with us. I know you're broadcasting to our guys in Jessup, Georgia. We appreciate that. And we want to always encourage those that are still behind the bars. What's up? I see my partner on as well. Lungs-Disease. What's up, boy? It's good to see you supporting for sure. And I want to make sure that I get everybody as you come on. We will definitely let you know that we see you. So what's up, Oscar? Tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself.
All right, before I tell y'all a little bit about myself, I want to say thank you to you, Mr. Campbell and Mr. Hall, and to all the listeners out there that took the time out to tune into the podcast and listen to the information that you guys will bring forward. But my name is Oscar Brown. I was born and raised here in Savannah, Georgia. I'm 49 years old. In May of 1995, I was sentenced to life in prison for conspiracy to distribute cocaine hydrochloride and cocaine base. For the next 25 and a half years, I had to fight to regain my freedom. I regained my freedom in November 17th of 2020. Since I have been out, the transition has been kind of smooth at times and kind of rough at times. And what has helped me to have a smooth transition was basically the support that I had coming out of federal prison after doing all of that time. It has been rough, because even though where I'm out here and I'm supposed to be free. I'm not totally free due to supervised release and restrictions like that in the industry that I have entered into, which is logistics, because I'm an owner operator of an 18-wheeler truck.
Okay.
Those restrictions have kept me from really doing more to prop myself up and re-enter into society faster. It's really like slowing my reintegration down. But like I said, in 1995, I was indicted. I went to trial. I was sentenced to life, and just for the next 25 and a half years, I had to stay filing motions to the court. Stay going to the law library, reading up on new laws that was coming out. And when Donald Trump made the first step back retroactive, I was able to gain relief and re-enter to society.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm loving this right now because I don't know if you know much about my story. Actually, Oscar and I met about 2 weeks ago, and both of us were invited to speak to some young people about the consequences of our choices. And so, when we met, automatically we vibed, and I wanted him to come and share his story. But, hearing that you had a life sentence in 1995, it's like, we have something in common. Well, all of us on this podcast have something in common, and that is we are returning citizens. But you and I, in the sense that I too had a life sentence, and I got my life sentence in 1993 in the state. But what I want you to share a little bit about, as I will too, can you tell us just a little bit about your mindset as you begin to do that time? Was there some specific things that you started doing in order to become the person that you are now? For example, there's a phrase that I like to coin, is called progressive preparation. What that means is I knew that at some point those doors were going to open, and I wanted to progressively prepare to be the person that I am today, motivational speaker, entrepreneur. So was there something that you started out doing, a skill, a trade that got you through where you are today? What up, my covenant brother? I see you.
Well, for me, even when I stood in front of Judge William T. Moore and he told me that I was sentenced to life, I didn't accept that sentence. I said, I don't know how, but I'm not gonna die in prison. Okay. And I prepared myself. I said, no matter what, I'm not gonna become what the system is designed to make a lot of brothers and sisters out of. The system will mold you into an animal if you're not careful. Yes. And like you say, if you don't stay doing positive things, educating yourself, thinking about tomorrow, not saying, well, I'm here today and this is where it's going to end it. So that's what I did throughout my incarceration, even though I was facing life. And for me, I used to always tell people that I don't have a life sentence. I have a death penalty, because I knew once you receive a life sentence in the federal system, the only way you get out is you went through court or you die. So I was telling people, I have a death sentence, and that's what I'm fighting. But I always just took in, whenever I wasn't working on my legal work, if I could, participate in any kind of class, any kind of age class or whatever, or just sit down and talk to other brothers and sisters, that worked there, or even some of the brothers that was in there that was returning to society or had just came in from society, I would sit down and I would try to, learn different things or, have positive conversations. And that's one of the things that I did for myself to keep me from becoming what the system is designed to make you, and that's an animal.
For sure. Now, help us to understand as you begin to transition. I'm systematic, so I need to hear that systematic reentry process because I want two audiences, if you will, to be able to be encouraged. Those that are still behind the bars, and we want to talk about our brothers and sisters, but also those that have been home and they're trying to make it. If I'm not mistaken, you say that you own your own truck now. So tell us, you said it was a difficult transition. Tell us a little bit about how the steps that you took to get your truck and where you are moving towards. Was there some barriers?
Well, the biggest barrier I face is, well, when you're on supervised release, as you are, as Mr. Hall may know, you can only stay within your district. You cannot go outside of your district. And when you're dealing with logistics, logistics requires you to run outside of your district, all over the state and even outside of the state. So, just being pigeonholed to your district, it kind of makes it hard, but you had to stick it out, you figure out ways, and as far as like the re-entry starts the day you get sentenced. It's on the individual to take, it's on the individual to take and dig within himself and find the things that he needs to correct, so that once he or she is back in society, that they give their chance, they give themselves a chance to not have to return back into incarceration. And the way I attained my truck was, over the years I was staying in contact with some friends, and they entered the trucking industry, and they was telling me, how it was changing their lives and was providing them with a way to provide for their family. So over the years, when I would have family members and friends send me gifts and stuff like that, I made the sacrifice, and I took and saved my funds. And because I knew you have to have funds when you're coming back out here. We can't, by us being felons and stuff like that, and not having a history of credit, when you come out here, you're gonna need funds to give yourself a chance until you can get your credit established and stuff like that.
Okay, so tell me this then: when you got out, got yourself established, got your truck or what have you, can you remember a moment where you were at a crossroad, if you will? Was it difficult for you to continue down that positive path? Or were you looking at what was going on around you, trying to catch up? And if so, do you have an accountability, a partner or group that helps you to remain focused even when it gets difficult?
Yeah, well, I just ran into a crossroad about a month and a half ago. I had a driver, and he drove the truck without any coolant, and he caused my engine to be locked up. So I had to cut tires with the truck, or I had to reinvest all the money that my truck had made into another engine. So I talked to, like I said, I talked to my friends that was into logistics, and I talked to the people that supported me throughout my incarceration. And, they were like, hey, well, you see that, you can earn money as long as your truck is on the road. So just reinvest in it, and just give it a chance, just give it a chance. And that's what I did.
Help us, for some of our audiences. What do you mean when you say logistics? That term might be common to you, but foreign to others. What do you mean when you speak of logistics?
All right, logistics, it covers like the port, the Longshoremen Association, trucking, warehousing, even railroads. Even when you see these containers that are being moved on these railroad cars, that's part of logistics. That's moving goods from one place to another. That's logistics.
Moving goods from one place to another.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what are you doing? What as it relates to giving back? I saw you at that event the other day when we were speaking. I believe it was neighborhood safety. What How did you get involved with that? And what made you begin to start doing something to give back?
Well, when I was indicted in 1995, they charged me with use of two minors. I was acquitted at trial of that charge, but I took and looked at myself, and I knew that a lot of the youngsters in the neighborhood, they looked at some of the things I was doing and wanted to follow in my footsteps. And I said that I wanted to correct the wrong that I did do out here. And that's one of the things I said, if I ever got free, that I was going to try to reach at least one youth. If it was only one youth, I would want to reach one, because I feel I owe that to society, and I owe it to myself to do what's positive, you know. And one of the youth, well, one of the guys that I was actually charged with in 1995, he was a speaker at that forum also, and that young man took and changed his life, and he's doing nothing but positive things now. So when he told me he had a forum coming up, I told him, please let me come, you know, and he extended
That's all
his
right.
hand out to me. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. You know, I find myself just do the same thing. Since I've been home, what I recognized was there are a lot of men and women that are, well, young people, first of all, that are going down the wrong path. And so whenever an opportunity presents itself for me to share a word, if it reaches one, you know, that's good. But that's the young people on the outside. Tell me, what about those that we left on the inside? I don't know about you, but after 25 years, you said you did, 26 years that I've done, I developed relationships with men there, family, and I'm still in contact and connection with many of them now. I don't want to forget. I hear a lot of people say, man, I'm through with that. That's it. I moved on. I want to forget. But that's not me. So let me ask you, are you in some way remembering those that we have left behind the bars?
I don't remember them. I take them with me every day. They're in my heart every day. I reach out, you know, some of the guys that I really got close to, and they have parents here, they have children here in Savannah. Whenever I have, you know, some free time, I go by, I visit their parents, you know, it might be Mother's Day or whatever. I go and take some, you know, take a gift to their family farm, or, you know, where their kids or whatever. But when I was incarcerated, by me having a life sentence, I was 22 years old when I received my life sentence. So a lot of the guys used to take and come to me, and they would talk to me. And when the younger guys that came in that didn't have a life sentence or had 5, 10 years, you know, I would always talk to them and I would tell them, you know, and as my time started piling up, you know, I got to the 20-year mark. So when I got to the 20-year mark, I definitely used to take and grab those younger kids, and I used to tell them, like, listen, I don't want you to be like me. I don't sat in here for 20 years. I could have been retired off a job. Even if I would have only been making $30,000 a year on that job, it's probably more money than what most people was going to see in the streets. Because a lot of us that's inside the drug trade, we know the truth. You may have 2 or 3 dudes out those crews that's getting some money. The rest of them, they don't really be making money. So if you take and you add it up, what you would make on a job after 20 years sitting in there for what you made for 2 years out here, it doesn't, the math will be like, hey, you'll be like, nah, this math doesn't work.
Right.
You know, so I always, while I was incarcerated, you know, I always used to try to talk to people, you know what I'm saying? And I still talk to them, you know, I encourage them guys, you know, stay in the law library, you know what I'm saying? Stay up on these changes in these laws. You know, don't get caught up in the system. Don't become what the system wants you to become. Just because they say you got 20 years, you got 30 years, you got life, or even the death penalty, don't give up, because that's what man says. You know what I'm saying? God really has the last say. So let God tell you that. So you keep working. You continue to be positive. You know what I'm saying? Change into a positive person.
So tell me this: what are you doing now in society? I know you say you got your truck up and running, but what else are you doing that um, you want to share with us as far as occupation, or it may be you want to do something, you want to be a part of an organization to see if you can help as it relates with our brothers and sisters that are still incarcerated, because you know that prison reform is a big issue right now, and you know there's got to be something that we can do. As I'm looking at your shirt right now, you say, what they say, the right way ought to be free.
The right way. I fought to be free.
Oh, the right way. I fought to be free. The right way.
Yeah.
How can we right now continue to fight for the freedom of those that are voiceless?
Well, we have to, out here, we have to be sure to try to educate the youth and even the adults out here in society, you know, and we had to not only educate the people that's inside the street, we had to educate the citizens, because a lot of times the people get stuck inside the system because of these harsh laws. We need laws to not have just total chaos out here in society, but we need to make sure that these laws that we ask for are not just going to fit us, or they're not just going to throw us away when a lot of us really just make a mistake, and we can be out here doing something productive if given that change, you know. So what I try to do right now, I try to find people that's really sincere about helping the youth, educating the youth. And like I told you when we was at the last event, I don't care about sharing my story. If I can come in there and just take the trash out of that, would help the youth not have to go through the stuff I went through, I'm cool. I would do that. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to be around. I just want to get involved with people that's serious, because, you know, while I've been incarcerated and even while I've been out, I see a lot of people, they say that they really are trying to help the youth, or they trying to help end mass incarceration. But at the end of the day, a lot of them come off to as they just chasing funds, and that's something I'm not going to be a part of.
For sure, for sure. You know, I think back too, and I want to encourage our brothers that's on the inside and our sisters, and I want you to do the same. There are a lot of men and women still on the inside that are ready, that are educated, that have prepared themselves for this second chance, but because of some policies that we or a certain sector of people have made, they haven't gotten that opportunity. And so, you know, I want to encourage you, brothers and sisters, continue to prepare yourself, continue to believe. Don't ever give that hope up. You know, you see Oscar right now, 1995, a life sentence in the Fed. You know, myself, 1993, a life sentence in the state. And look where we are now. We're here with an opportunity to speak up for those who can't speak. But we're also here to encourage you, to let you know, don't give up. Oscar, would you also encourage our brothers and our sisters that are behind the bars, those that are listening on Jessup, a radio station, those that family members might be hearing us, encourage our brothers and sisters to let them know that just hold on.
To the brothers and sisters, it's just like the brother just said. You know, you must invest in yourself. You know, look at it like I'm going home. Put that inside your heart, claim it, live it every day. Be like, today is my day. When tomorrow comes, say today is my day. Invest in yourself. Take all the educational programs you can. Talk to other people, because there's plenty. It's a variety of people inside these jails. You have lawyers, you have accountants, you have stockbrokers, all kind of people, and you can gain knowledge and information, but you have to go out and seek it. And for the family members, don't give up on your family. Don't give up on your family, and they need your support. They need your support, you know, and without a support system, it's gonna be hard. You need a support system. You know, you can do it. I'm not saying it can't be did, but a support system is definitely needed. You know, please, you know, y'all family members, if you do not have a record, go out and vote. You know, and read these laws. Don't just vote for them because you know it was shooting inside your neighborhood. Yeah, that stuff need to be addressed. But make sure that when you ask for these laws to be passed, that you understand how they're going to be put in effect. And you don't want these things to be passed where they're locking up kids that shouldn't be locked up for the rest of their life just because they make one mistake.
Truth. And what about returning citizens? What about men and women like you and myself? Whether it was 20 years ago or 20 days ago, they're out. They've returned back to society. Society hasn't been as welcoming as at one time they were. I know that when our previous governor was in, they had a lot of reentry organizations that was well funded and was assisting. And then when he left, of course, you know, we got what we got now. So how can we encourage our brothers and sisters that are out now to continue to be strong? Would you speak to them right now?
Well, what I would tell the brothers and sisters is you have to come out here and you have to know what you set realistic goals.
Yes.
You know, don't set saying I want to own 10 trucks in the next year. You know, say I want to get one. Set something that's realistic and understand that there are a lot of programs out here. There's a lot of help out here. There's a lot of people out here that will actually help these returning citizens. There's a lot of things out here to help returning citizens. Take advantage of them. Like I said, when I first got out, I went and worked in a warehouse. And my support system allowed me to save as much of that money as it was possible. I took and saved as much of that as I could and invested in my truck. And that's the kind of things you had to do. You had to treat it just like the streets. When you're in the streets and you're trying to come up, you do what you had to do. And the little money you make, you save it until you can get what you really feel like will put you in the right spot. So it's the same thing. When you're a returning citizen, don't come out here and get caught up thinking you had to have the latest fashion and all that. That doesn't make you. You know, you're trying to get in a place where you're comfortable, whatever you feel, whatever your comfort is. So you come out here and you make the sacrifice. You already made the sacrifice sitting in jail. We get by every day incarcerated with next to nothing. So why can't you come out here and still make a sacrifice? And what's next to nothing out here is way more than what's nothing in there. What's next to nothing out here is 10 times better than the best inside being incarcerated. So if you sat there and you made it through that, you can make it out here. You can sacrifice out here until you can get to where you're in a good place. You know, you just have to just stay humble, stay disciplined, and stay focused. Don't get sidetracked.
And what about the community? There are a lot of people that's in our community that they're ignorant. And I just simply mean that in the nicest possible way as I can. They don't know about the prison system. They don't know about mass incarceration. They don't know that there needs to be prison reform, sentencing reform, and things of that sort. What do we need to do to help them to be able to be aware of what's going on, even in their own community? Because we know all the time, we say this, that many people that are out there, probably 70 to 75% of them have at least a loved one that's incarcerated in some form or manner, or that's on probation or parole. So how could we speak to our community that will move them to missions?
Well, I really, I would say that they're misinformed.
Okay.
You know, and that's what we need to do is try to get them informed. You know, I think that it shouldn't be just talks for the at-risk youth. It need to be talks for the parents. It need to be talks for the citizens. Because, you know, like I said, it's a lot of people out here that are misinformed. You know, even on some of the things what take place in these neighborhoods. You know, they control the media and stuff like that. So they paint the picture. And a lot of times that's the only thing what people go by is what be presented to them. You know, they don't get to really hear, you know what I'm saying, about how these laws really apply. So I think it need to be forms to even inform the citizens, you know, even some of us in the street. We don't really know how these laws really take effect, how they are applied, you know.
Truth. I was talking to a couple of friends of mine, and right now we're getting ready to do some serious voters registration, voters education, and things of that sort. You spoke earlier about how we need to know what these legislators are saying and how they plan to affect us with these bills or what have you. How well informed are you as it relates to voters registration, and are you telling other people that this is something that's important?
I'm not informed on voter registration. You know, that's not something that I was looking into, you know. So I can't speak on that right there. But I do feel voter registration is important, but at the same time, we can't just be giving these votes away just because somebody look like us or we think somebody is for us. We give votes to candidates every day, every election cycle, and we don't know nothing about the candidate. Or once we give them the vote, we don't hold them accountable. It's candidates tell us they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. Once they get elected, we don't never come back and we don't never say, hey, you this what you campaign on. When are you gonna fulfill this promise? We'll wait until their whole term up, or we'll elect them a second term. And once they're out of office, we'll talk about, hey, they didn't do what they say. But you elected them 2 times. They didn't do it the first time. So why did you elect them the second time?
True. What's up, Ellis? Ellis says that this is a needed show for every returning citizen in America. Great conversation with good advice. Appreciate you. And that's what we're saying to you as well. Oscar, man, I appreciate how you just put your passion into remembering, and not just remembering, but you're also putting your mouth in it. A friend of mine always say, you know, we always talking, but nobody's ever showing any action. Well, I'm here to say to you and to those that are listening that you have been putting in the work. And what I'm expecting us to do is, you know, we're getting ready to push in every way that we can. We're getting ready to push education as it relates to voters registration. But we're also getting ready to push as much as we can to our young people about the horrors of incarceration. That is not the place that we want to be. What's up, Erica? I see you as well. That's not the place that we want to be. Many of our friends are there now, and it's not what it used to be. I know we talk about prison reform sincerely. Death is rising, violence is escalating, and a lot of our brothers and sisters don't have that encouragement, that hope factor that we used to have all the time. So what do you think that we could do to encourage them to keep the fight, to keep the faith? I see that on your shirt. What can we do? Just give them one last time a word of encouragement.
Well, I would encourage the brothers and sisters to, first of all, not become involved with the system. I think a lot of times we spending too much time and too much money on trying to help brothers and sisters return into society. We need to try to figure out ways to keep them from even become a part of the system. And that's something that was always baffling to me, because you know they tell the taxpayers, well, hey, we spend this much money on an inmate per year, and you and I think Mr. Hall also can attest to this. You get substandard food in there. Your medical care is not in there, like they saying. Your living conditions are horrible, you know, And I don't think no man or woman want to had to live in a space that's the size of a closet with another person, you know, and the conditions are just rough. And but for the brothers and sisters that do find themselves in that position and had to return back out here, just take and give yourself a chance, you know, because it's no place for no human being to be, you know, and no human should have to be controlled by another human on when to eat, when you had to lay down and stuff like that. You know, I have seen officers that really could be someone's grandchild talk to them like they was a kid. You have a 20-year-old correction officer talking to a 75-year-old man like he's a little child, just because he feel like he has the power. You know, so just go ahead.
While we're here, as we get ready to turn this corner to our conclusion, I want to remind our listener, what's up, Tisha, all the way from Las Vegas? Why are we here? We are here because of our stories. Oscar, your story matters. My story matters. And those that are behind the bars, those in Jessup and those in Georgia, all over the United States, there are over 2 million people incarcerated in America alone. And that speaks volumes, number one. But number two, we need to tell these stories. We're always hearing the negative stories that's promoted on the news of returning citizens, recidivism, ex-convict, convicted felon. And they say that with such spew, if you will, or hatred. But what about stories like yours? What about stories like what you just said? You got out, you're doing well, you got your own company, your truck service going out, you are speaking to young people in the society. What about stories like Julius or Marie or AB or myself? You know, stories where we get an opportunity just today, and I'm so grateful. I had an opportunity to speak at a vision luncheon. It was called Vision Quest luncheon, and they wanted to hear my story. And in my story, every chance I get, I tell about my prison experience. Not that I glorify prison, no, but that I let them know there are many people back there that's just like you and I right now. Simply, they're waiting on a second chance. If we were to invest in that, invest in going behind the bars, getting a panel together that will seek out those that are doing well, not push back and reject those that are doing well. And so that's why our stories, Oscar, matter. And that's why I invited you here on the podcast tonight. And those of you that are watching, if you know others who have stories like mine or Oscar, Marie or Julius or AB, if you know others, please get in contact with us. All Things Relevant Media. You see Julius Hall on Facebook, or get in touch with us so that we can tell your story. Because if we tell enough positive stories, I believe we can change the false narrative. All of us not going back. So I just wanted to share that. Do you have any final words that you want to share before we conclude tonight, Austin?
Yes, that's why I thank you, brothers, at the top of the program, and that's why I thank the listeners that tuned in. Because, like I was saying, there's so much misinformation out there. We don't control the platforms to put out the positive. You know, there's a lot of youngsters out here. There's a lot of youth out here that do positive every day.
Yes.
But they don't focus on that as much as they focus on that one youth or that two, or those 2 or 3 youth that go out here and do something that can make a catchy news headline, or it can make a catchy campaign thing to run on. So for the brothers and sisters that has tuned into this podcast, please invite more brothers and sisters to tune in, because we need to get out. Like you say, the success story, there's plenty of success stories out here. Man, the people that encouraged me was former incarcerated individuals that don't came back and don't been back in society 20 plus years, some of them, and are doing tremendous things out here, you know, for themselves and for the youth out here, trying to help the youth. But we have to remember, you know, our bad is going to receive the spotlight way faster than our good. Mm-hmm. So when we have podcasts like this, we need to get as many brothers and sisters tuning in, you know, so you can be encouraged. You know, we need to get the family members tuned in, so you can feel encouraged to know that your loved one has people out here that been in the same situation he or she is in, that is doing the right things and that they can draw strength from. And like I said, I just want to thank you all, both of you gentlemen again. I want to thank all the listeners that tuned in, all my brothers and sisters in the federal, state correctional facilities, all the brothers down there at Jessup. Thank y'all. And please just stay positive. If you have been through the system and you're having a hard time, don't give up. There's plenty of programs out here. There's plenty of people out here, you know, that's here to help you, that will help you, and you can do it. Don't let what they say. You know, they always throw these statistics. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into that. You do it, and you can do it, and you will do it. Don't give up.
For sure. What up, Keith? I appreciate you, bro. Keith Richardson saying, stay down, be a good soldier. We enjoy what we do today, man. Listen, Oscar, thank you for coming out. I'm going to holler back at you again, just to check on you. Again, just like Oscar said, all of you that
don't check on me, come and use me, man. Like I said, if you got an event and I can help take the trash out of that and help your event, and it'll help the youth, or it'll help educate the people in society, come get me. But like I said,
listen, I will, man. I will believe that, because I got an event coming up, and I'm gonna reach out to you. So like Oscar said, those of you that are watching, appreciate you when you come every week. Anna, Tisha, Erica, my covenant partners. I mean, all of you, Ellis, every one of you that come on and support us. Thank you. And those of you that are new, like you say, share this with someone, especially somebody that's struggling, so that they will be encouraged. Look, if he can do it, I know my brother, my son, my sister, my daddy, my nephew, my uncle, they can come out and do it too. You know, I got a saying that I love to leave you with. We may have started out wrong, but check us out now. We finishing strong. So listen, I appreciate you. I see you next week on another edition of Ain't to Ain't. We love you. We out. Good night.
like that.